Okay, we are back at it. What If Season 2 has heated up for the past 9 episodes, and we dropped the review for the first 2 episodes and hit a pause because I was not sure about the severity of the situation for this episode. But with what I've seen from episode 4 to episode 9, I can confirm that we are well and truly back in business. So quick rundown first, we got an alternate Hulk in the form of Mr. Happy Hogan. Then we saw Mr. Stark himself, who lost his way after saving the Earth from a nuclear weapon and the Chitauri, only to find himself in the clutches of the Grandmaster. Gamora turns up, we get a twisted car race, Iron Man wins, and Thanos is put to the sword once again. We get an alternate timeline with Captain Peggy Carter and Black Widow, where Steve Rogers is the Hydra Stomper working with the Red Room, and this is where the multiverse begins to connect, as Captain Peggy is taken through a portal with Scarlet Witch on the other side. Then this Tesseract, also known as the Space Stone, falls to Earth in the 1400s and is utilized by a Native American tribe to put an end to the conquistadors, and then we get the introduction of Doctor Strange Supreme into the mix. Then we get another look at Asgard, where Hela's bloodthirsty nature is cured after having her powers taken, an episode in the 17th century world where the Avengers are on opposing sides, a Red Skull cameo as Executioner, and the finale with the teardown of the multiverse. Doctor Strange Supreme has not been cured of his madness and grief, and thus tries to break the existing world to form a new one. The valiant and concerted efforts of Captain Peggy Carter and Kahori prevent Doctor Strange from sacrificing individuals in his world forge to make a new one. We get multiple appearances from Thanos once again, the Cowboy Loki, Killmonger, Soto, and a host of other Marvel villains who have been captured by Doctor Strange Supreme. Now to review points, as I said earlier, I wasn't really sure about this season up until episode 5 with Captain Peggy Carter, Black Widow, and the Red Room. Great action sequences, by the way, so big credit to the animators and the panelists. This clip here where they jump through the iron bars was a real life applause moment. I often say movies are often made or destroyed by one act which is sometimes seemingly unimportant that just cements it as either a great show or otherwise, and that was the moment for me. In episode 6, we get Kahori and the Native Americans, the beginning push for colonization by Spain in the 1400s, and a detailed, beautiful story about an American tribe, their culture and language, admirably given some significant screen time before, during, and after the failed pacification by the Spanish conquistadors. In episode 4, I was cool up until the Thanos cameo, and I'll be speaking on that later. To a lot of both comic book readers and otherwise, Thanos might have been the biggest, baddest villain in the multiverse. We are talking about a man so notorious in the multiverse because of his actions, but he seems to get none of that respect in the What If series. Episode 7 adjusts the events of the first Thor movie, replacing Thor with Hela, and we find out just how powerful Hela is, as well as how long the 10 rings have been around since this episode was set in earlier centuries. Odin's power is also on display, which is little talked about as it is in the Marvel Universe. Hela's redemption is jittery, but it helps them set up the final episode. Episode 8 is where some of the best work might have come in a 17th century world, with the multiverse tearing apart, a grieving Thor as the King of London, Shakespearean and Dickensian characters in Happy Hogan, Bucky, and Rogers Hood. Nick Fury and Scarlet Witch also feature as Merlin. Happy Hogan had me dying with his old English diatribe, so that was peak characterization again from the animators. We finally got a Hulk appearance, not the smart Hulk who lost his ferocity, but the raw, brawn Hulk, a bit older, but with just enough syllables to convey meanings with his words. An excellent free-for-all fight scene paints a picture of Valhalla, the Viking hall in the afterlife where battle is endless, and this is a major highlight in this episode. This episode also produces the second and third multiverse crossover of season 2. The finale begins in a benign manner. Doctor Strange is, to all appearances, cured of his malady, but we find out soon enough that even the love he has for Christine has evaporated, and only grief has kept him firing on for so long. He dispatches Captain Peggy with a deceitful mission, only to trap her and Kahori for use in his world for this rapidly ascends from a 2v1 battle to a raucous free-for-all as Captain Peggy free a large number of imprisoned powerful individuals. We get cameos from Hela, a zombie Scarlet Witch, Thanos, Killmonger, and Soto, as well as a host of others who were either imprisoned by Doctor Strange or forcibly transported through portals to field his world forge. Soon enough, we find out that there's little of Doctor Strange left, as grief has consumed his mind and turned him into a vampiric monster. It took the combined efforts of Captain Peggy, Kahori, the Ten Rings, Hela's Crown, Thor's Hammer, and Odin's Staff to contain Doctor Strange, and even at that, it was nearly not enough. In the end, whatever smidgen of Doctor Strange is left in him is what compels him to give his life to the World Forge and end his madness completely. It remains to be seen what happens in Season 3, but do not be surprised to find him floating or drifting away in a locked corner of the multiverse. We got a what-if season as great as was expected and advertised. Superheroes and villains in alternate universes where their lives are either tweaked or untouched by either minuscule or momentous decisions and action. Captain Peggy Carter was the lead protagonist of this series, aided by Kahori in another attempt at preventing the multiverse from breaking into pieces. Heroes and villains, as much as they change, ultimately stay the same. First off, we start with a question. Where is Sam Wilson? Our new Captain America is conspicuously missing in this new lineup, while lesser franchise characters have screen time. Is a popular question from the fans who want to know why the next Captain America is nowhere to be found in Marvel's premiere animated series. Now, Thanos. What can we say at this point? Marvel's biggest boogeyman of the live-action movies has been turned into paste. For all the level of fear, respect, and dread he commanded, he was having his lunch taken quite easily in this series. This is not a criticism, merely an observation, but when we look at the stats, it is not good. In Infinity Wars and the Endgame saga, Thor required a god-killing weapon for Thanos, but if we look at the deaths he had in What If, look at the split in half by Ultron's lasers, melted by a glue stick, dissolved by Killmonger's Infinity Stones, turned into a zombie, etc., etc. In the comics, Thanos was a crazy titan who takes a black bolt scream without fading to dust and is so obsessed with death that he pursues her approval endlessly. But the Thanos we got is nowhere close to this. So what gives? Maybe the implication is that Thanos is not as powerful as implied in the movies, but at this point it is just pitiful the way he never even has a chance throughout the What If series. Maybe in Season 3 we get a Thanos that is as powerful as advertised, but who knows? The name of the series, after all, is What If, and Thanos might just be the running joke. Now onto the final fight of the season. I did not have any complaints even with Captain Peggy's usage of the Infinity Armor. She had the most powerful materials in the universe on her armor and was still trying to fight physically because that was what she was used to. It would take a significant time to combine the knowledge of the Infinity Stone's powers and her intentions to be proficient at its usage. And credit to the animators again, because as the fight progressed, we saw her figure things out and discover the extent of her power. Some viewers might have been frustrated or disappointed by this, but remember, you have more knowledge of the Infinity Stones because you have followed their journey from the beginning. For her, she has always been about kicks and punches, so it will be illogical for her to abandon her patterns in the blink of an eye because she has the Infinity Stones. Remember again, she has little knowledge on the capabilities and possibilities available to the wielder, and you can see her clearly figure it out at various stages in the battle. On to the next. How powerful is Kahori? We saw her hold her own admirably against Doctor Strange, and I must admit that was very impressive. Her powers come only from the Space Stone, so we know she's fast, can open portals and generate energy blasts. But she was astounding and impressive in the final fight, making sure Doctor Strange did not have it easy at any point. So we will get any further appearances from her is the next question, and we'll have to see it in Season 3. All in all, this was an impressive season from the latter episodes. I'd count episode 5 as the turning point of this series, of which my favorites are obviously episode 5, episode 6, 8, and 9. For all the complaints about connectivity of the various worlds of Marvel characters due to the extensive world building done in the movies, I advise you simply enjoy the singular brilliant product we've got
gotten from Marvel since the Endgame saga. I know there are still questions about the giant statue poking its head out of the clouds in the Eternals, but as I said, leave that to the movies. The What If seasons have been amazing and enjoyable in their own right, and even compared to the draws we get on live action movies, and I suggest that you do not miss out simply because the Marvel executives have lost their way. This is still the Bootleg Corner. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts for us to see. Keep it locked in.